I want to give my quick thoughts on, it's a non-wrestling video, but quick thoughts on what's going on in Mexico. So it seems like Mexico is rioting, or the native Mexicans are rioting and, turning up over prices. So we all know that here in the United States, if you go to Mexico, you have a lower cost of living because goods and services are way cheaper. That's the whole point of Mexicans. They're coming over here, working for low wage, and then they're sending the money back home to their families so they can live comfortably. Well, the prices and goods of American services are so high, and the cost of living here is so high. A lot of us who have, could either work remote or have some kind of cash flow to where you have like rental property, like passive income that you don't need to actually be in the United States for. If you have that, you go live in Mexico, and if you were, let's just say you had passive income of $4,000 a month, right? Well, in America, $4,000 a month is okay, or even $3,000 a month is, you're cutting it very close, like you're running thin. But if you make $3,000 to $4,000 a month USD and you go live in Mexico, you are upper middle class. Well, what's going on is so many Americans and foreigners are moving to Mexico to live. They're actually running the cost of goods and services up. So the cost of living in Mexico was low, but the average Mexican was sort of struggling. But now their cost of living went up even more because they have foreigners coming there. Boom. They can't even survive. So, your average American and your average Mexican is on, they're feeling the same. If you're in America, you see all these foreigners getting handouts and, you're getting nothing, and the dollar is destroyed. You want the foreigners out of your country. Well, what's going on in Mexico is the opposite. They're driving up the cost of living. So now the Mexicans want the foreigners out. So essentially, both countries are being destroyed for the average person. The only people that's surviving right now are the rich Americans and the rich foreigners, who are in Mexico. It's starting to be now, if you had some passive income and you went to Mexico, you were living upper middle class. Now you might just be middle class. It's still better than America. But hey, the Mexicans want these foreigners out, man. You're gonna have to get out because they are rioting. They're saying kill the gringo. It's getting dangerous. You had the LA riots, now you have riots in Mexico. It's all a shame, but, the rich are too rich. You're going everywhere, destroying the country. I understand with the internet and everything's more widely available. You get to see how people live. Some people might be like, hey, I'm not going all the way to Thailand and stuff. I'll just go to Mexico, and fly in every now and then. But, y'all be safe and really think about what's going on. The dollar is destroyed to Americans, but that dollar spends well everywhere else in the world except maybe the EU. But that's all I got to say on that. Y'all could go look up more about what's going on. Put your thoughts in the comments. You know, on this Monday, we about to watch Raw. But I'm going to get this video out maybe today or tomorrow. But be safe if you're in Mexico and you're an American.